Hello， 大家好，欢迎收看国际汽联亚洲3级方程式锦标赛泰国站的现场直播。那么即将开始的是本赛季的第4回合正赛，结果如何，让我们拭目以待。
Hello and welcome to live coverage of the Formula 3 Asian Championship for the round 2 here in Buriram, Thailand. And in this morning's qualifying section, we saw Yukio takes a pole position, and now he's also the overall championship point leader. But before the race start, Alex, I would like to ask you, what are the challenges here for the drivers?
Yeah, I think it's a very challenging track, same as Sepang, one of the hardest tracks in the world. So every driver needs to stay concentrated in the 30 minutes race. And if you look at the qualifying 1 result, you will find out 16 lap time made by 12 of the 14 drivers were delayed because of exceeding track limits. So that's something every driver should pay attention to. They need to stay on track and avoid penalties. After that, I think we can have a good race.
OK， 那刚刚我问到Alex， 那么在这里呢都有哪些对车手来讲都有哪些挑战？他也提到呢，这个五里南的赛道也是这个全世界最热的赛道之一，这个和雪邦是一样的，非常的高的温度。那么的同时呢，在今天早晨的 qualifying 当中呢，也有很多车呢就越过白线来受到了罚分。那么这也是在之后的比赛当中车手们需要注意的部分。So the action is just minutes away, but before the race start, let's have a quick look of the last round highlight. 那么在比赛开始之前呢，先让我们来回顾一下上一回合的精彩集锦。
Welcome to Chang International Circuit in Thailand for what is the second event of the 2019 F3 Asian Championship certified by the FIA. We are in for the first of three races this weekend, races 4, 5 and 6 of the second season of the F3 Asian Championship. Here is the calendar for this year. Of course, we started at Sepang in Malaysia in early April, Buriram, Thailand, off to Suzuka in Japan. That is one many of the teams are looking forward to, of course, an iconic circuit in this part of the world. And we close the year out in September, both ends of the month, at Shanghai International Circuit in China. Of course, that will make for a very, very interesting season, and already the racing has been very, very impressive. We'll go through the qualifying list very, very shortly, but you can see there's some blue sky today. We haven't seen much of that over the last couple of days. In fact, the storm's so bad here on Thursday. Catch fencing was blown down, scaffolding was blown down, certainly camera locations were blown down and made it very, very challenging. Yesterday a little bit wet, and today an awful lot better. So cars are down on the grid. Looks like Feline may well be down on the grid. She is with the pole position driver. Of course, that is the championship points leader, Ukyo Sashihara.
Hi, Ukyo. What do you need to do to win today's race?
Yeah, I think like in Sepang, I try to get a good start, get the first lap, try to manage the gap from the behind, and let's see, because I don't know if the tire are going to be degraded or not, but I think yeah, I will try push till the end. So yeah.
Good luck with the race. 那刚刚我问到Ukyo 呢，他今天的比赛要如何做才能赢得这场比赛？他提到呢，他会像雪邦一样来保持领先的位置，同时呢和后面的车拉开距离。但是呢，他不了解这个轮胎能在这里炎热的天气之下的受热情况。不过呢，他也会非常的努力，希望能拿到冠军。
Interesting words from Ukyo. The track conditions have changed since yesterday. We saw rain during the course of a couple of sessions. One of their practice sessions was a complete whitewash. But interestingly, during qualifying earlier, there was some very, very good time set. And Ukyo has set pole position, not by much though. And his teammate Jack Doohan, the Australian, just 17 years of age, 0.08 seconds behind. So Feline will no doubt talk to a number of drivers down on the grid. I guess we will hear very, very shortly from Jack Doohan, the son, of course, of Michael Doohan, one of the most famous exports from the land down under. He has certainly done a great job this year. The two high-tech drivers dominating the front of this grid. We are heading down to Feline. She looks like she's somewhere near Jack Doohan, who will start from the second position on the grid for this fourth race of the year.
Hi, Jack. Who are you going to watching out for this race?
Yeah, well, of course, my teammate starting off pole position, so he's going to be tough. And of course, the guys from behind, everyone's pace seems to be pretty consistent and good. So just going to have to do the best I can, try and get a good start. And it'll be good if I can try and get in front of Ukyo and then just focus on myself.
对，那刚刚我问到 Jack 呢，他这场比赛当中他有什么需要注意的地方？他提到我一定要非常注意我的队友，因为他Ukyo呢是在头位发车的，同时呢他也要注意身后的这些车手，不要让他们超越自己，希望能有一个很好的起步。同时呢他说最大的挑战是他自己，他也要保持一个非常稳健的发挥。
Thanks, Feline. Well, interestingly, well, they're not really sure what they're going to face and what track conditions will be like. Based on qualifying, it was very, very close. But Jack Doohan will be trying to breach the gap to the championship points leader. It's 7 points. It's not too much, 68 to 61. And certainly High Tech have been the standout team. They won the championship last year. They won the Winter Series. They dominated the 3 Winter Series races here a little bit earlier in the year. Of course, identical cars, a lot of the same teams doing valuable miles during the off-season. And for Ukyo Sashihara, he's really been the standout. Neither of them, interestingly, set pole position or the fastest qualifying time at Sepang in Malaysia. That was down to Daniel Cow, who start this race from position 3 for Absolute Racing alongside his teammate Isham Puris. So the grid starting to clear. Here is the grid. Pole position to Ukyo Sashihara from Japan. The two high-tech Grand Prix teammates, Jack Doohan alongside the young Australian, they dominate the front row pretty much as they had done. They were the top performers for the opening 3 races at Sepang in Malaysia earlier in April. On to the second row. Well, it's Absolute Racing. Now, Absolute Racing took a victory here in the Winter Series 2. And that, at that stage, was for Ye Fei, the Chinese driver who's gone on to Europe to do interesting things. Isham Pires, a great job for him, and Daniel Cow, who set pole for the opening event of the season in Malaysia. The two drivers alongside. Then it's the two Black Arts Racing drivers, Brendan Leach, the young New Zealander, from position number 5, alongside Tom Beckhauser from position number 6, the young Czech driver. Good to see him back in the championship. Miki Kiyama for BMAX Racing Team, a sterling qualifying effort for her. Position number 7 ahead of Ayrton Simmons, who's currently one of the front runners in the British F3 Championship. 2 out of 3 races so far in that championship at Alton Park. He's been on the podium. The DNF unfortunately dropping his points back. Yu Kanemaru, we saw him in the opening round, did a great job for Super License, the sole entry for the Japanese team this time round. And Yu Kwai for Zen Motorsport. Well, position number 10, car number 4. Tommy Smith, the young Australian who started from the front row in the 3rd race at Sepang in Malaysia, is off 12. Akash Gowda still going around for M Sport Asia from India. He is position number 11 on the grid. He's probably a little bit further back than we may well have expected. Then we're back to the Masters entries. Thomas Ludi took the advantage there over Paul Wong for the 852 Challengers team. Paul Wong getting some valuable miles as he continues on doing double duty with sports cars in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo Asia Series. So there is your grid. And we're getting set for a start. 30 minutes plus a lap for the leader. The 3 races, it's 15 races across the season. That's a lot of mileage. And these young drivers are working on eking out a career. We talked about championship points. Ukyo Sashihara won 2 races, is on top of the points, the Japanese driver, with 68. Jack Doohan, the young Australian, won race 3 of the series and finished runner-up to his Japanese teammate in the other 2 races. He's just 7 points behind in the championship. Then a big gap back to young Brendan Leach, the New Zealander, doing a very, very good job. He was talking to me a little bit earlier in the weekend about grip levels. He said the way you set the car up, you start with a little bit of understeer, and they're a very hard tyre, the Control GT tyre for this category. But they certainly do get a workout, and as the temperatures in this part of the world start to climb, the tyres also do increase in temperature, and that can have a little bit of an effect on wear. Wear rates aren't too high. We talk about drop-off, which is the performance over a lap time between the tyre when it's brand new to when the tyre is well worn. There's not a lot of drop-off in these tyres, but certainly the conditions of the tyre and the track can change, and Brendan Leach saying that it's very much understeer over the opening laps. Car balances out during the mid part of the race, and towards the end you're starting to go into oversteer and a little bit of work for these drivers. Now, this is very much a category where it is reliant on the performance of the driver. The drivers will tell you they're a very hard car to steer, no power steering, none of these really nice additional aids, ABS and traction control and all the things that a modern GT3 car have. So they are very much responsible for the performance of the car. Obviously things like tyre wear are important. They don't really need to worry too much about that with the GT Control tyre in this category. It's not a huge issue, but certainly setting the car up right is important, and so too driver experience. So as we get ready for this, we go down as a countdown for the opening race here at Chang International Circuit in Thailand. Start indeed as we get underway with the formation lap. And the drivers will be doing everything they can. We're talking about tyres. Tyre temperature is important. The stickier the tyre, the quicker you get it up to temperature, the greater the grip you have on the circuit. You see a lot of weaving, a lot of jumping on the brakes and then accelerating, jumping on the brakes again. That's to try and get the heat from the brakes into the tyre. It will all help with getting that tyre up to temperature, increase the grip levels, and certainly the drivers with experience will tend to charge away. We talked about high-tech Grand Prix, the British outfit, very, very experienced in the junior formula worldwide. They compete all over the world. They've been very strong. They've now got an Asian base in Malaysia at Sepang International Circuit. They have been strong since the inception of the F3 Asian Championship, of course, the Winter Series as well. They have been dominant so far, and it's certainly been that team that have got on top of the setup of the cars very early in the piece. Testament to that, Yukio Sashihara and Jack Doohan, the two entries for High-Tech Grand Prix this weekend, sitting at the front of this field. Absolute Racing, of course, are iconic in this part of the world, have been here for 10 years or more. And Fabian Fior and Ingo Mader, very instrumental in the development of a lot of drivers around this part of the world, certainly through the GT Formula, for which they're most closely associated these days. And their young team too is building. Ishan Pierce and Daniel Cow have been very, very quick too, of course. So Daniel Cow, that is the green car weaving on the second line, that immediately behind Ishan Pierce in the pink, down the little grey car. Two cars, that's Ishan Pierce, car number 5, the second of that one behind Jack Doohan. Now, where is Yukio Sashihara? Has he disappeared off into the distance, or is he having drama getting off the line? Whilst I've been prattling on about the tyre temperature, getting grip levels up and looking down the order of the starting list, Sashihara seems to have disappeared. Now, he may have raced off a little bit just to start jumping on brakes and getting temperature up, get the circuit to himself, but certainly there's a gap back to Jack Doohan. That camera angle showing that Sashihara not really there. Look at him just really violently turning the wheel of the car and just trying to dial in some temperature. It's Guai Yu for the Zen Motorsport team, the orange and silver. Well, certainly the number 1 entry is there, so Sashihara, that's good news, has gotten around the circuit. So right of screen is the Japanese driver for High-Tech Grand Prix. Left of screen is Jack Doohan. Immediately behind Jack Doohan is Ishan Pierce, and the pink car there, number 5, is Daniel Cow. So we get ready for a start for the opening race of 3 here at Chang International Circuit. We'll see the green flag start to wave towards the back. Yellow at the moment. Now, I hope there's no drama, no cars stalled, or there's an issue. No, he's gone for green, waving the green. We should have lights on, lights out, and we are underway. 30 minutes plus 1 lap for the leader as we get set for race 4 of the 2019 season. We're away. Oh, Sashihara just got ahead and closed the door on Jack Doohan. Doohan looks to the outside, a better run through turn 1. As High-Tech Grand Prix 1-2, got to be mindful of the track limits. They can't afford to do too much of that, but certainly on the opening lap, that's not too bad. And it's High-Tech Grand Prix fighting down to turn 1. Doohan's got the outside run. Seems to have come out of the corner a little bit better. How deep under brakes can they go? His teammate's got the inside. First rule of competition, don't take out your teammate. Of course, that is your greatest rival. And these two drivers will be doing their very best. Side by side on the run down to turn 4. Very fast left-hander, the fastest left-hander on the circuit. Let's see how they sweep through here, but certainly advantage Sashihara, the points leader, as we tip in. Doohan on the outside, ridden the curb, gone all the way out, can't hold it there for too long. He'll have to nip in behind as we come through turn 5, into 6, the second of the left-handers, and into the hard right-hander turn 7. Doohan is just watching the tail now of his teammate, and immediately behind them, Ishan Pierce has made a great start. Now, Brendan Leach looks like he's dropped further back. Just checking on who that is further behind in the pink car. We get the timing. Oh, the number 16 entry. That is Tommy Smith, the young Australian. Now, let's hope there hasn't been any contact there. A lot of steam. It could well be contact, and a radiator has just let a pipe go. Can't quite see what's happened there. We've missed that further back. Now, whether or not he was tied up with Brendan Leach. So we cross the line. Sashihara leads, Doohan second, Pierce third. Leach in position number 4. So it's not pink flashes on that car has caught me. So that looks like Daniel Cow's dropped further back. So Brendan Leach up to position number 4. Tom Beckhauser in position number 5. Eden Simmons in position number 6. Oh, this is a tough battle. That is Daniel Cow further back. No, that should be Ishan Pierce. Number 5 entry of Daniel Cow. Looks like they've done a bit of a colour change over there at Absolute. That one's caught me napping just a little bit. This is a great battle. And that was Simmons too. caught up in this fight. Early in this race, very, very interesting racing. Oh, going around the outside. Oh, just hasn't caught it. Number 95 entry, Tom Beckhauser, gathers it all up again. Down at turn 5 and regroups. He's lost wholesale ground there. That's a tough run for him on his return to the F3 Asian Championship. As out front, Sasha Hara is doing everything he can to try and keep that advantage. That is back for position number 8. Hikiyama just got a little bit tight. Not too much grip there on the outside. He just tried to hang on to it. Beckhauser caught up in that battle with Simmons and Cow. Further back in the field, they cross the line once more. Advantage again to Sasha Hara. Fastest lap, 1:34.86. Qualifying time, 1:33.999 for Sasha Hara. So not much in it. Doolan, 1:35.1. He's a second behind now. Ishan Pires in position number 3. Brendan Leach, position number 4. Daniel Cow up to position number 5. Ayrton Simmons in position number 6. Position 7 to Miki Kiyama, which is about where she started on this grid. She's a little bit further back in the field, 7 seconds. So that mix-up further back cost a number of those drivers. And who have we lost in that? Tommy Smith obviously out in that opening lap. As we go down to Kanemaru in position number 8. So the super licensed drivers a little bit further back than we would have expected. Wai Yu in position number 9. Akash Gowda in position number 10. Let's take a look at the replay. Straight across in front of his teammate. So Shahara got a good start, managed to close the door, and then Doolan locked onto his tail. Did what he could to try and take the inside running. Didn't quite have the advantage. Sasha Hara was able to close the door. There he is, the number 1 entry for High-Tech Grand Prix. Championship points leader, up by 7 coming into this race. This would be 25 valuable points. If things finish this way, the advantage will be up to 14 by the time we go into race 2, which local time will happen 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. As we say, weather conditions here have been a little testy. Thursday, strong winds, torrential rain, big storms blowing all sorts of things over, including catch fencing around the circuit. It was that intense. Yesterday, not so bad, but one of the sessions a complete whitewash. Not a lot of miles done by the teams. What predictions of this afternoon was going to be wet. So far, we have been lucky. A lot of blue sky, a bit of wind around the place, and certainly that has left us free for this 4th race of the season. So far, race 1, race 2, victory to Sasha Hara. Race 3 in the championship of 15 to Jack Doolan. And so far in this race, we're only 5 minutes in. Sasha Hara doing everything he needs to see. Extending his lead a little bit more, 1:34.86. Sorry, 1:35 dead last time round, so a little bit slow, 1:35.3 to Doolan. And we saw this certainly in the opening 2 races at Sepang in Malaysia. Doolan sitting in a watching brief comfortably in position number 2. He protected that position as he went through to build some solid points. Then started from pole position alongside his compatriot Tommy Smith in race number 3. Unfortunately for Smith, he got caught up in some of the action and dropped back down the order. In this race, unfortunately, unable to build on his championship position. Now, Brendan Leach is using a lot of the curb and a lot of the runoff on this circuit. That is the number 5 entry of Daniel Cow. The second of the Absolute Racing cars. Of course, all these cars campaigning identical Tartus chassis. Of course, the F3 T318, around 650 kilograms minimum weight. Of course, it'll start a little bit heavier with the fuel load that they have on board for this 30-minute race. All campaigning identical Auto Technica, Alfa Romeo ATM AR F3R engines. Somewhere around 270 brake horsepower, 350 newton meters of torque, which is pretty good. There's Brendan Leach already getting into oversteer in the 86 Black Arts entry. All contesting the event with the GT Competition GTR1 control tyre. Harder compound tyre, a heavier car than some of the other open wheel formula. Of course, this is one of the leading championships that's gone for the new single chassis, single engine concept for FIA F3 competition around the world. Certainly led the way last year. It's very much a blueprint for the development of this category worldwide. Slightly heavy car, a lot of safety built in, not just the halo device, but side intrusion bars, of course, into the side of the car. So perhaps a little bit harder car to drive than previous incarnations of the Formula 3 cars worldwide. by no means less exciting. And certainly on circuits like this, they're every bit of match for GT3 competition, with sometimes as much as 2.5 times the horsepower. So lap times very comparable, because they can carry an awful lot more speed with something like half the weight. So power to weight ratio very similar to a GT3 car. A lot of aero, a lot of grip with those slick tyres. This is very much a development formula, of course. Formula 4 into Formula 3, Formula 3 into Formula 2. And ultimately, if you are good enough, you can make it all the way to the upper level of world motorsport into Formula 1. 134.86 still that quickest lap. 135.2. So time's dropping off a little bit. They seem to have got the peak out of the tyre very, very early. That was lap 2 for Sasha Hara. So far, the bulk of the field have set their fastest lap on lap 2. Doing 2.1 seconds down now. 35.6, so 4/10 slower last time around. He may not be pushing too hard. Of course, they've got 3 races, 2 sets of tyres, which they're going to balance across those races just to make sure that they have enough rubber for the weekend. Track conditions are a little bit different, so the engineers having a lot of work to do. Certainly losing an entire session due to wet weather does make it very, very challenging with trying to determine the optimum setup. You want to try and get as much dry running as you can, obviously, and hope that the track conditions don't change too much, so that you can optimise what you learn from the conditions in each practice session. A little bit of private testing. They got 2 one-hour private testing sessions yesterday, of an official practice session and into qualifying this morning. 2 short sessions, very quickly back to back. They set starting positions for races 1 and 3. Fastest lap from this race sets the grid for race 2, which will come at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Ooh, a little bit of a brake lock-up for Ishan Pires. Brendan Leach now under fire from Pires' teammate, Daniel Cow. Absolute Racing drivers, position 3 and 5. The Black Arts Racing entry has managed to split the 2 Absolute drivers. In qualified position number 5, and you'll see the tail stepping out, commonly known in the business as oversteer. And that's perhaps happened a little bit earlier for Brendan Leach. We're talking about the fact that he's under fire now too. And Daniel Cow pulls into the slipstream. 1 kilometre long run all the way down to turn 3. This could be a good opportunity for Daniel Cow to pull out of the slipstream and take the position away from the New Zealander. He's got the inside run. I think Leach is probably struggling a little bit. Look, he's already into oversteer. He's taken the inside and the crossover. He's got to fire out of the corner, but he may well have been instrumental in the setup of that car. I was about to mention he's a mechanic by trade. There's a lot of the hands-on work with his own car. Davide Rizzo, one of the crew members down there with the Black Arts Racing team. Bill O'Brien, you can't miss him down there, the tall, lanky, bald American. Always a smile, always ready to have a yarn with anybody involved in the sport, as passionate as he is. And, very instrumental in the development of that team over many, many years. So great to see them there mixing it with undoubtedly the top teams in this form of motorsport in this part of the world, being High Tech Grand Prix, of course, with their history in the sport in Europe. Absolute Racing, whose credentials are without question in this part of the world. So for Brendan Leach to be right up there mixing with them, unfortunately he's dropped back to his qualifying position of 5th and hanging on. They may have thought that the track conditions, we can see it's a little bit overcast now, so not seen too much sunshine so far this weekend. And drivers certainly at this level will tell you the sunshine and the track temperature can have a big impact on the way you set the car up, especially when you're looking for tenths or hundredths of a second. You're talking about hundredths of a second separating the front 2 on the grid. That's how close these fields are. And advantages like slipstreaming, which Daniel Cow is trying to pull on Ishan Pires. His teammate, he's gone around the outside. He has been able to pull it up. Closes the door on the exit. Can he get on the throttle quick enough on the exit? Yes, he has taken that position away. So he has moved back up into position 3 where he started this race. But unfortunately for the 2 Absolute Racing drivers, they're 4 seconds back now from Jack Doohan in position 2, who himself is almost 3 seconds back from his teammate, Yukio Sashihara, who's doing just what he did in the opening 2 races at Sepang in Malaysia, driving away from the field. And of course, you say driving away from the field, it's not wholesale time. Brendan Leach looks to have had a bit of a recovery. He's not too far behind these 2 drivers. But But certainly for Sasha Hara, he was the dominant force in the opening 2 races, and doing to his credit, probably realised he didn't quite have the edge to be able to take the fight to his teammate. Had nothing to gain from closing in onto the tail of the Japanese driver. Again, managing the tyre bank. They wanted to make sure they had good condition tyres, such an advantage that Doohan had over 3rd position in those opening couple of races in Malaysia, that he was able to drop back without worrying too much about coming under fire. So across the line one more time, 3.4 seconds is the gap, 1:35.3. So Sasha Hara has managed to maintain a fairly consistent pace in the low 35s over the last 2 or 3 laps. He's held it there, doing so too in the high 35s, and he's comfortably at the moment clear of Daniel Cao. Advantage 4.6 seconds between the Australian and Chinese driver. Of course, Daniel Cao back up into position number 3. Shampiras position 4. Brendan Leach position number 5. Ed Simmons, for those people following on from the UK, welcome to you. He is currently in position number 6. Now, if my memory serves correct, and I don't necessarily need to run purely on memory, he was runner-up in the F4 Championship in the UK last year. Yes, the British F4 Championship. He's a British Racing Drivers Club rising star. Currently sits in position number 3 after the opening 3 races of the British F3 Championship at Alton Park. In fact, he heads off to Snetterton next weekend. His finishing results so far coming in as number 2 from F4 in the UK, 2nd DNF and 3rd. So he's right in that fight, but of course a long championship ahead. We talk about drivers having success overseas. Jamie Chadwick, of course, we saw during the opening round at Malaysia. She's just won the opening round of the W Series. Effectively identical cars for the all-female category. She won that opening round at Hockenheim in Germany a couple of weeks ago. Was due to be on the grid this weekend, had to pull out at the last minute. So great result for her. Just goes to show the calibre of drivers that have been running in this championship. Jack Doohan doing the Euro Formula Open Championship this year. They've had one round already at Paul Ricard in France. He currently sits in position number 10. He's off to Pau, which is a famous street circuit in France, for next weekend's 2nd event. So they are all very busy, combining the F3 Asian Championship with their campaigns overseas. And High Tech Grand Prix are also this weekend at Catalonia in Spain for the FIA Formula 3 Championship. So some very, very busy teams. On screen, car number 5, Daniel Cao, hasn't really closed down the gap, but his pace very much matched by Doohan. 1:35.6 for Sasha Hara last time round. 1:35.7 for Doohan. 1:35.8 Daniel Cao. Shampiras into the 36s. Brendan Leach, 1:36.3. His best time 1:35.4, which is not really where the Black Arts Racing team want to be. They've got a little bit of tweaking to do after this race. Of course, 2 more races this weekend. Both of them will come tomorrow. So that's 7/10 down on the outright pace of Sasha Hara. 3/10 separating Sasha Hara and his teammates. So certainly the Japanese driver has found something as he crosses the line to put 10 laps in the books. 14 minutes to go. You'd effectively say we're halfway through this race. Fortunately, the only retirement so far is Tommy Smith, or unfortunately, if you're the young Australian, not long out of go-karts. Good to see him in this part of the world getting some valuable miles. A little bit of racing in open wheelers in Australia. And we look forward to seeing some more of him. Of course, set the 2nd fastest qualifying position for round 3, or race 3 rather, of the championship. He may not have done a lot of go-karting. That's 16 years of age. Raced in the Toyota Racing Series earlier this year. That's a great category that runs in New Zealand. Part of the world that runs during the off-season. Of course, during the off-season, over the last end of year winter in the Northern Hemisphere, we kicked off the F3 Winter Series in this part of the world. The opening 3 races here at this event. You just see Tommy Smith is about this part of the circuit, so he's come off in the exit at turn 5. Interesting to hear what transpired there. Obviously keep up to date with the www.f3asia.com website. That will keep you informed of all the goings on. Of course, the social media platforms in both English and Chinese to keep you across the activities from the weekend. And find out what's happening to Tommy Smith at the end of this this race. But certainly the Winter Series saw 3 races here at Buriram in Thailand, and we went on to another 6 races, 2 additional rounds at Sepang in Malaysia. That saw some great names. Dan Tickton, one of those. He set the fastest qualifying time, of course, 2-time Macau GP winner. Like Jack Doohan, a member of the Red Bull racing family. Tickton, of course, back overseas competing in that part of the world. And, Jack Doohan will be across there too before too much longer. Sashihara, he will really be having people talking before too much longer. The young Japanese driver has been very, very impressive since he started this season. 3rd in the Japanese F3 Championship last year, has raced the Macau Grand Prix, 2nd in the Japanese F4 Championship in 2017, has competed in Europe, the Formula Renault and the F3 European Championship back in 2016. And at 23 years of age, he's got a good career ahead of him. Jack Doohan, the young Australian, who is just 16 years of age. He has got a big career in front of him. Certainly his father has laid great foundations. He's added a couple more wheels to his father's career. Of course, 5-time champion at the highest level of motorcycle racing. Top rookie for the British F4 Championship last year. Raced in the German ADAC F4 Championship, F4 Italy, 6 races too. He's been on the podium in the CIK FIA European Karting Championships. He's a 2-time Australian kart champion, KA2 and KA Junior through his formative years. Has been racing for a while. It's no surprise when your father's the great Mick Doohan that you take motorsport on as a career. And certainly his performance so far in the F3 Asian Championship, certified by the FIA, has shown that he certainly has great potential. There'll be a lot of people worldwide watching him, of course, part of the Red Bull family. So they've obviously seen great potential in the young Australian. At the moment, though, there's not much he can do about his teammate. He's comfortably clear, almost 6 seconds clear of Daniel Cow. There's the 4th placed car of Ishan Piras. Brendan Leach still just hanging on. Ayrton Simmons is about 4.7 seconds back from that battle. There is Daniel Cow. There is Ishan Piras. Behind him, Brendan Leach. Ayrton Simmons next. Miki Kiyama doing a great job. She's only 3.8 seconds back from Simmons. Oh, big brake lock up for Brendan Leach. It's not going to help his tyre pull. He's clearly pushing very hard. You could see very early. In fact, as early as lap 3, he was starting to get into oversteer. So he's pushing that car very, very hard. Piras doing everything he can to retain that position. Number 15 entry from Absolute Racing, Sri Lankan driver. Not too far off his 21st birthday. 6th in the Asian Winter Series, so he's done some miles here with the Absolute team. Formula Renault Asia. Southeast Asia Championship, and he's been a champion in the Macau ACOC series. Still in his early stages rather of his career. So behind Miki Kiyama, Yukan Amara is a little bit further back than we'd perhaps have expected, the super licensed driver. Talking to Rio Fukuda just earlier today, he's quizzing him on how his team was going. He said, well, it's a work in progress. And unfortunately for them, down to 1 entry for this weekend. Without the 2nd entry of Tomoki Takahashi. Hopefully we'll see him back a little bit later in the season. We go on to the next event, of course, at Suzuka in Japan, 21st and 23rd of June. Certainly will be a place to see more Japanese entries. Of course, very strong motorsport culture in that part of the world. They have their own national championship, which is very strong. Interesting to see how many of those drivers come out and join us for the F3 Asian Championships. Some very big names have run in this championship over the last 12 months. We're talking Dan Tickton, Jack Doohan, Ukyo Sashihara, of course. We go back to the Winter Series. Rinus VK was very, very strong. Alex Goretti, a number of drivers with links already to F1 teams. They have been part of the championship. Of course, Jamie Chadwick won the MRF series last year. She is the points leader as things stands after the opening round of the W series. So some very well-credentialed drivers getting valuable miles in this part of the world. Of course, nothing beats a circuit designed by Herman Tilke, responsible for many of the modern-day F1 circuits around the world. This is another of Grade 1 FIA circuits worldwide, another of the Herman Tilke design circuits. There is Sasha Hara. There is his lead. It's almost 5 seconds now. Doohan, though, has nothing to gain by pushing on at that pace. What he might be doing is saving a set of tyres very, very comfortably whilst his teammate continues to push. Sterling pace too. We talk about pole for this race earlier today being a 33.999. Fastest lap so far was a 34.8. So the pace is still very strong. There is the #1 entry. Points leader. These are valuable points. 7 coming into this race. This will add another 7 advantage over Jack Doohan. It'll take the lead in this championship out to 14 points. Daniel Cow came into this race classified in position #4. 15 valuable championship points for him too. Isham Puris was behind him in the championship, 28 to 33. He's going 12 points. And Brendan Leach, who's currently 3rd, should retain that position. But he's certainly lost plenty of ground to Daniel Cow. Points he didn't want to give away. He should take 10 points away from this race. Things staying the same as we are right now with under 6 minutes to go. There's the 2 Absolute Racing drivers. This is pretty much situation normal as we started this race. So Shahara started from pole, Doohan alongside. Daniel Cow started from position #3. The Chinese driver alongside his Sri Lankan teammate Isham Puris, who qualified P4. That's the way they are running as it stands. Brendan Leach qualified position 5. Now his teammate Tom Beckhauser, who's shown as 1 lap down. There was that spin earlier in the race. That has cost him. He's now 55 seconds back from the race leader. It's cost him quite significantly. He's dropped back behind Thomas Liudi, who's leading the Masters division of the race at the moment. He's the other side of Tom Beckhauser in position #13. So they are 1 and 2, Thomas Liudi and the Masters trophy. Tommy Smith, unfortunately, DNF at the moment. To complete the opening lap, stuck down at turn 5. All we saw was a lot of steam and the young Australian extracting himself from the car, so hopefully that's not a big change for the team. May well have been a little bit of contact somewhere that damaged a radiator. So once the coolant is out of the engine, it's time to switch it off and park it at the side of the circuit. Get back to pit lane. That's ideal too. It certainly looks like he's been thrown through the gravel trap somewhere whilst we were watching the race leaders. Another lap in the books. That's 16 down, 4 minutes to go in this race. 5 seconds the lead. Sasha Hara to his High-Tech Grand Prix teammate Jack Doohan. Daniel Cow now back 8 seconds. He is 13 seconds down on the race leader. So leads his teammate in the 15 entry. Isham Puris just watching him going through turn #3. There is Doohan. And this big gap of 8 seconds back to Daniel Cow. Isham Puris, Brendan Leach, Ed Simmons, Kiyama, Kanemaru, Kwayu, and Akash Gowda. Thomas Liudi, Tom Beckhauser, and Paul. 15 races for this season. It was a hotly contested championship last year. Jake Hughes very nearly winning the championship. Missed a couple of races which ultimately cost him the title. But High-Tech GP certainly were the standout last year. They were the standout in the Winter Series. Very much they are the standout as he comes through the final corner. Yuko Sashihara. Well, that was Jack Doohan, rather. Yuko Sashihara already through the final corner. Extends the lead again. Still circulating in the low 35s. He's been doing it consistently. It just goes to be more evidence for the lack of drop-off in the tyre. quickest lap, 1:34.8 on lap 2. Last lap, 1:35.2. Less than 4/10 of a second difference between lap number 1, lap number 2 rather, and lap number 17. Simmons further back. Across the line now. Car number 4. Yu, Chinese driver for Zen Motorsport. Good little battle pack. Kanemaru, Yu and Gouda. Super licensed driver, just holding position. Been a fairly uneventful race, fortunately. Very much the blueprint. Oh, having said that, it looks like it might be Thomas Ludi, the Black Arts Racing entry. Where's Paul Wong? Might be hit top of screen. So he's managed to retain his position. What's gone on there for Thomas Ludi? Looks like he's had to stop and reset the systems. He's going again now. Let's hope his lap times are okay. So he's managed to stay ahead of Paul Wong. Continues to hold down position number 8. With Kuai Yu immediately behind him. Zen Motorsport entry, silver and orange flex. Come to the line one more time. Leader out by 5.3 seconds. Fait accompli effectively, 35.4, so still fastest man on track. His 34.8 second lap time will give him pole position for race 2. Second quickest, well, that is Jack Doohan, but only marginally. Isham Puris, a 1:35.199. Doohan, 1:35.175. So the advantage there is Puris over his teammate. Daniel Cowell dropped back to position number 4. We'll go further back down the order. Brendan Leach would start from position 5. At the lap times, Edward Simmons will start from position 6, having jumped up a little bit quicker than Tom Beckhausen, who will start from position 7. So that's a very provisional grid as we get down to 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds to go. So as Yukio Sashihara gets to the line, he should, well, it's last lap board up. Let's just see. I understand it says 30 minutes plus leader. Let's see, we should have one more lap to go. No, he's already signalling. And off the throttle. Haven't quite seen the checkered flag yet. Well, I'm seeing a sign saying checkered flag, so that area, there it is. There it is. So race 1 here at Chang International Circuit in Thailand goes to Sashihara and High Tech GP. They've made it 4 from 4. The Japanese driver 3 from 4. Jack Doohan in position number 2. Looks like it may well be Paul Wong in that blue entry, splitting the 2 High Tech drivers. Doohan did everything he needed to do. No need to do anything fancy. Nothing to prove by pushing the tyres. That's a very cool head on young shoulders. But you can take the advantage of the experience of your father. But a great student of the sport, certainly has been born into it, of course. Doesn't necessarily follow that you're going to follow in family footsteps, but for Jack Doohan, he's done everything right so far. A smart race. Yes, he's 4 seconds back at the line. Sashihara dropped his pace over the last lap, 37.3 in the end. It's not reflective of his overall pace. Did enough to comfortably win the race. Jack Doohan did enough to comfortably finish position number 2. The advantage, I would expect, provisionally out to Sashihara by about 14 points now going into tomorrow morning. Track conditions will be a little bit different by the time we get there. It'll be more reflective of the way qualifying would have been this morning. Not expecting any rain at all tomorrow. That said, could well be a torrential thunderstorm. We'll see how that one plays out. Daniel Cowell comfortably across the line in position number 3. His teammate Isham Puris in position number 4, Brendan Leach. After initially holding on to a strong running position around P3, dropped back to P4 and ultimately fell back behind the 2 Absolute Racing entries. A little bit of work to do for the Black Arts Racing team. They don't have the depth of experience in this category like Absolute Racing and certainly High Tech GP. but they will no doubt go away and do a lot of work overnight and come out fighting tomorrow. Ayrton Simmons on his maiden run in the F3 Asian Championship finishes in position number 6. Number 12 entry for Pinnacle Motorsport. John O'Hara's crew down there doing a very good job. Miki Kiyama did a nice job to cross the line in position number 7. Guai Yu for Zen Motorsport in position number 8. The super license entry of Yu Kanemaru in position number 9. And position number 10 for Akash Gowda. There is your race winner, your championship points leader, and he rightly carries the number 1 for High Tech GP. They are the runaway championship points leaders. High Tech Grand Prix in this championship so far. They came into this round at 129 points, 70 points clear of Absolute Racing. So good result for the Japanese driver. No doubt we will hear from them down at on the grid. They are fairly subdued celebrations so far, but this is only race 4 of 15. We have a long way to go in this championship, but certainly a great way to open the account. See Feline sprinting down the grid there. Not sure I'd use the word sprinting, but certainly she's making haste. She gets down to the Japanese driver, and we talk to him about this race. Jack Doohan doing a great job. Further back from Akash Gowda, Tom Beckhauser, position 11. Paul Wong, position 12. Thomas Ludi clearly had an issue. He fell back behind his Masters rival, despite leading the bulk of this race. And young Tommy Smith, the Australian, unfortunately unable to make it through the opening lap as the only retirement in this race. We hope the damage to that car isn't too bad. So let's take a look at it officially. Well, provisionally, of course, but officially. Sasha Hara takes the win, Doohan second. Teammates are from Absolute Racing, Daniel Cow and Isham Pyrrhus, positions 3 and 4. Brendan Leach for Black Arts Racing, position number 5. Ayrton Simmons, position 6. Miki Kiyama, position 7. Guai Yu in position number 8. Yu Kanemaru for Super License, position 9. Akash Gowda in position number 10 for M Sport Asia. That is your top 10. The numbers you can see beside it are the splits between the two of them. Tom Beckhauser further back, the Czech driver, in position number 11 for Black Arts Racing. Paul Wong, he takes the Masters win over Thomas Ludi. And unfortunately for Tommy Smith, unable to complete the opening lap. That is race 4. We go down to the grid very, very shortly. Feline is with Ukiyo Sashihara, Japanese driver and championship points leader for High Tech Grand Prix.
Hey, Ukiyo, congratulations, pole to win, and you also made the fastest lap for this round. So tell us about today's race.
Yeah, start was not really perfect, so I have to defend the jack first couple corner. But luckily I got the inside line, so I could manage the read. And after lap, I knew that only first few laps was trying to make a fastest lap. At the end, I think I got the fastest lap, and in the race, I just tried to clear the tire, and I think it was good. So I have to thank all the High Tech members. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. 那刚刚我问到他呢，这一场比赛他是从头位发车，同时拿到了冠军。那么他对自己的表现怎么评价呢？他也提到呢，今天呢，他的车况非常的好。从一开始呢，他和 Jack 他的队友之间有一些小的竞争，但是他很快拿到了内线，拿到了领先权。所以比赛一直进行得很顺利，而且他也在最早的几圈拿到了一个最快单圈。他呢也一直呢就是在后面的比赛当中呢，就一直要保持轮胎的状态，最后取得最后的胜利。
Well, you'd have to say that that's bad news for Ukiyo Sashihara's teammates and his rivals if he got a bad start, because certainly he led the field into turn 1 and then drove away. Despite a relatively poor start in his own words, he was able to close the door on Jack Doohan down to turn 1, and that was basically game over from that point on. So, well, we'll see what race 2 brings this weekend. Certainly this is very much a deja vu for the opening round of the season at Sepang in Malaysia a few weeks back. That was 1-2 for the team, same result, and same thing happened again this time round. We'll see what happens for race 2. We go into that as we get to race number 2, 10 a.m. local time tomorrow morning. Let's take a look back at what race 4 of the 15-round season was like. starting here at Chang International Circuit. Off the line, left of screen, doing right of screen. Sasha Hara, who said he didn't get the greatest of starts. Well, there he is. He closes the door on his Australian teammate. Doohan fought back, was able to take it down to turn number 3 and get beside his teammate. Got a good run. They kept it down to turn 4. But by the time they got to the left-hander at turn 5, that was it. Game over for Sasha Hara. Lap 2, his fastest of the race. This is unfortunately Tommy Smith. You can see some smoke. Well, that may not be radiator either. That could be engine, unfortunately. We'll find out more about that. Keep up to date with social media platforms. This was a great run by Tom Beckhouse, caught out wide and unable to get past, battling with Ed Simmons. Of course, running in the top 3 in British F3 at the moment. 2 of the absolute racing entries, Isham Peiris and Daniel Cow, battling with Brendan Leach, the New Zealander. Bit of a break lock-up there for Isham Peiris. Ultimately, it was Daniel Cow who managed to work his way forward, but nobody could do anything about Sasha Hara. The Japanese driver has been flawless so far this season. 4 races into this 15-round season, he has 3 in the books as a comfortable race winner. Of course, podium in race 3. Also, to be the championship points leader comfortably coming into this round over his teammate Jack Doohan. That is the number 5 entry of Daniel Cow. He worked his way back up to position number 3, which was his starting position. Brendan Leach, big break lock up with the left front. Has got some work to do, no doubt, with the Black Arts Racing entry. Good battle further back between Kanemaru, Yu and Gowda. Kanemaru, the super licensed driver, holding the station. Number 1 entry, championship points leader. Comfortable win. Paul Wong takes the victory for the Masters division. And Jack Doohan comfortably across the line in position number 2. Daniel Cow, position 3, makes it your overall top 3. Four races in the books. 2 more to go this weekend. Races 5 and 6 will come tomorrow, Sunday. 10 a.m. local time for race 2. Race number 5 in the series, and 2:15 tomorrow afternoon around this time for race number 3. So make sure you join us for those. Stick with us though. We will go through some more interviews. We will then move on to the podium, and then afterwards we will go live with the press conference. Certainly a lot more information to go, and keep up to date with the website. allthews.f3asia.com, and so certainly the social media platforms in both English and Chinese will keep you across this championship as we go through. That's it for me. More race commitments, certainly some GT action about to take place at Chang International Circuit, and stay with us as we go tomorrow to race 4 and race 5 and race 6 of the 2019 F3 Asian Championship certified by FIA.
Welcome to the press conference of race 1 at Buriram. Congratulations to the top 3 finisher and the winner of the Masters class. Ukyo, congratulations with yet another win. Tell us about the start of the race.
Yeah, start was not really perfect, and have to defend the jack first couple of corners. So yeah, it was a really tough time, but luckily I could manage in the front. And first few lap I pushed for the fastest lap, and yeah, I managed to get the fastest lap, was good. Then after lap I tried to see how is the tire is gonna end of the race, but I think we managed well. So yeah, I have to thanks to all the high-tech members.
Thank you very much. Jack, congratulations, another second place. How is the heat here in Thailand? Is it comparable to Sepang or is it different?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Sepang, it's a little bit more moist. The heat in here, it's a bit more dry. To be honest, like in the car for the whole race, I was pretty fine. And then as soon as I stepped out of the car and the helmet off, then the heat gets to you, and you really start to feel it. But to be honest, I think this is what we prepare for in the coming weeks before the race. So we know that it's coming.
And tell us from your point of view, turn 1.
Yeah, I think teammates are fighting for position as well, but as well there's a lot of respect. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to pass him in turn 1, so I kept it to try down into turn 3. And then I got the run, but Yukio broke later, and got the inside again. And then I tried up into turn 4 on the outside, but there was not too much grip out there, so I ran wide, and Yukio got the place back. And then I tried to go for a quick lap for the next session, and it wasn't ideal, but it was still good enough to get P2. And then Yukio definitely had more pace than me, so then I just tried to see how the degradation would be and try and be able to maintain, say, in a good lap time for the whole race while not stressing the tire too much.
All right, thank you very much. Daniel, congratulations on your first podium, third place. Do you feel you've improved and you're closer to the front compared to Sepang?
I think I proved a little bit. I think my start is I start to have a little bit problem with my clutch. I released the clutch is stopped there. So first lap, first sector, I can't get a good position, but finally I just overtake somebody and get a third.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations, winner of the Masters last fall.
Yes.
Is this your first time in Thailand, and how do you find the track?
Yeah. Second time. Second time in here race. The track is very setup fee is very difficult. Yes, okay.
And tell us about the race. You get some good fights.
都有嘅，一半半啦。 It's okay.
Thank you very much.
With the trophies. Can I just get 3 of you first? Yeah?